Kirsty Latoya is a 25-year-old artist from South London who is taking the art world by storm. She specializes in digital illustration and concentrates on important issues such as mental health, social issues, and Black love. From a young age, she identified art as her passion. She would always draw when armed with a piece of paper and a pencil. Art is truly her thing. Kirsty has been featured on the Huffington Post, BBC, BuzzFeed, and as well as on the timelines of various celebrities and many others who hail her work as masterpieces. Even though while in school she chose not to study art because of the pressure to study what some consider more academic subjects. However, while in New York, she finally got that opportunity to take those art classes. Kirsty taught herself digital art in December 2014 by experimenting with drawing apps. Kirsty now paints on her iPad. Her depth and passion come through all of her pieces and continues to inspire, encourage, and empower people from all over the globe. Well, everyone, thank you again for joining us here on this network. I can't thank you enough. Today, we have an amazing, amazing guest. Her name is Kirsty, and she is not only a prolific fine artist and advocate. She's a beautiful woman of color with such a profound, rich story, and making waves, but making waves with substance. But I want to let her tell you guys more about herself. Tell us more about yourself. Thank you for joining us, by the way.
Hi, thank you for having me. As you've already introduced me, my name is Kirsty. I go by Kers Art, and I'm an illustrator from London. I've kind of always drawn all my life, but decided to take art seriously 2 years ago, and so that's what I do at the moment. I do it full time, and I love what I do. I do a lot of art relating to mental health, and that has kind of gained me some publicity kind of around the internet. So yeah, that's what I do.
Wow, that's so exciting. Oh my goodness. You know what's so funny? I was on Instagram, and there's a really famous actress here, Nicole Brown, and she reposted a picture, and the picture itself was so stunning, and then I began to follow you and see some of your work. What has inspired you? First of all, this is a two-part question. So digital art, let's go there. Many times in the art world, and especially I know that you have exhibited before in galleries. The art world, even though some digital art has been around for a while, the art world at first was kind of slow to welcome digital art. How did you start digital art, and what inspired you? Because your images are so stunning. What inspired you?
What inspired me were the digital artists that came before me. I would see this art and I would be so fascinated as to how they produced it, because when I was drawing, I was always drawing on paper, and that's just what I grew up doing. And all of a sudden, there was this, this other type of art, and I was just so inspired by just the beauty and the colors and the depths of some of the images, and I just decided to give it a try, really. So I ended up teaching myself because I couldn't really find any tutorials online, so I just began to practice, and I finally found a style. And then when I found my style, kind of mental health started to kind of play a part in my art, and then that started to inspire me to create my most recent pictures.
Wow. Now, it's amazing when you say kind of finding your style. What is your creative process? I've seen some of your videos. Like, do you paint to music? Do you have to be inspired per se to create art? I mean, how do you find your creative flow?
What will usually happen is I'll either see someone really kind of beautiful on Instagram, and I'm not kind of talking about, you know, natural beauty as, you know, the media would portray it. Interesting beauty. You know, I do a lot of kind of vitiligo art and stuff like that. So I would have to be inspired by something really different, something really beautiful, or on the other side, something really sad, and something can just set it off. And at that moment, I have to draw. I have to get something down so I don't lose it. And I start with usually either pictures of myself, because a lot of my art are based off me, or kind of other reference pictures, and I start with trying to create something special, kind of using those, and I just go from there.
Wow, that is that's really stunning. And I mean, your images, I love how I'll use the word celebrate, feature, portray, all those things, people of color, you know, because you don't hardly see that. I mean, you know, we know that quote unquote, you know, black art is one thing, but the messaging is so universal. And then you have that wrapped with images of beautiful brown stories, beautiful brown people. So that's something that you have been intentional about?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's intentional. I want to create art that people can relate to, and I found that kind of the art world is dominated by white artists, and there needs to be, you know, a time where somebody just stands up and says, no, like, we're important too, and I want to create art for my people, so they can look at these images and say, wow, like, you know, I look like this person, and especially with the mental health art, and I feel like this person as well, because sometimes we're not represented enough, and especially our struggles as well, they're underrepresented. So I'm trying to kind of build a bridge, really, a gap, and just trying to close the gap and bring some relatable art, really.
Wow. And now you have, as I mentioned before, exhibited. Tell me some of the feedback you've gotten from your shows, from your exhibitions.
Well, the first exhibition I actually did was an exhibition with a girl called Nicole, and she created the whole event around mental health, and there were 10 artists, all different types of artists, and that was kind of the starting point, I would really say, of my career, because I got such positive feedback from the art pieces I exhibited there, and I started getting recognition from BBC and people like BuzzFeed, and then I went on to be asked to kind of exhibit work in a large number of exhibitions kind of around London, and I even did one in Manchester, and I've also got one in San Francisco this month as well, which is just crazy. So I've had like a really positive feedback from the exhibitions I've participated in.
Wow, that's outstanding. Can you tell us more about why mental health and what has attracted this really needed subject matter to you?
Sure. Well, mental health as a subject is very kind of close and personal to me, because I've suffered from depression from I was a teen, quite a young teen, and that's followed me kind of throughout my adult years. And I guess what the turning point in my art really started after my mother passed away, and I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I didn't know how to grieve properly. I was in a really bad place, and I decided that I wasn't going to draw anymore. My friend just said, you know what, just try and draw something. I said, well, what am I supposed to draw? And my friend said, well, just draw your feelings. And that's when the whole kind of mental health art actually began. And the first image I drew was a self-portrait of myself smiling, and I'm holding a mask. Sorry, a self-portrait of myself crying, and I'm holding a mask that's smiling. And I really did that for my own therapy, but when I put it out there, so many people, resonated with the image, and it kind of ended up going a bit viral on the internet, which I was taken aback by because it was never my intention.
Wow.
So I started to continue to create art as my own therapy, but I would put it out, and it helped me a lot in my own kind of therapy and dealing with my depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And I just began to see how it was, even though it was my own therapy, I began to see how it was helping others. And I think that's why I continue to do that and continue to get involved in mental health projects and stuff like that, because it's so important. And I began to realize that a lot of kind of Black people that deal with, mental health issues, they're very quiet about it. They don't come out, they don't tell people, they don't talk to people. And I just wanted to give a message to say that you're not alone, basically.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think about how the arts, not only the arts, in general, but how personal artistry is so effective in our emotional health, etc. And what's really fascinating, what I appreciate more about, what you do is that, it is really at the heart of what art is. When you think about the arts, music and art, I think about stories in the Bible where King Saul would have David play the harp for him to relax him, and just how the arts were designed really to be something to help us. And you're taking it right to the issue, and I love that. Sometimes we get caught up in the vanity of it all, but truly, art is medicine. And you have really, it's an amazing journey, and what you're doing, I really appreciate that. And I noticed that on your Instagram, for instance, you do a lot of work in the community. And so how have you, how important is that, beyond kind of like the art world, you going out and sharing your story?
Yeah, I love being able to go out in the community and talk. I've spoken at a few events now, just about my own experience and kind of spreading the message not to give up, kind of no matter how hard things get. And I feel like it's so important because the youth need to hear this message, and they need to understand that the world is their oyster. They can go out, they can do anything they want, and I just really love getting involved with community projects, because I like to be a part of change and positivity, so that's why I like to get involved.
Wow. What do you have coming up? Any exciting events or perhaps art series that you are doing? What's going on with you, and what can we look forward to?
As I said, I've got a number of exhibitions coming up. So I have one in San Francisco, which is about the topic of mental health as well. I'm going to be doing a group exhibition in London in the summer. I'll also do my second solo exhibition.
Wow.
I've also got speaking at a women's conference at the end of this month. And I'm working with Huffington Post on some pieces for Mental Health Awareness Week, which is coming up in May. So I've got a few things, in the running. So
wow.
Looking forward to finishing those.
Now, how can people learn more about you? And wait a minute, before I even go there, you actually have pieces and merchandise for sale.
Yes, I have a website, which is where people can find me. It's www.kirzart.com, which is KIRZ.com. And you can also find me on Instagram or Twitter, and my handle is Kirzart, KIRZ Art, and Facebook as well. You type in facebook.com/Kirzart. Yeah, I'm everywhere. So you can find me.
And tell us about, like, I know that you have like canvas, different prints. What can people purchase? I mean, merchandise. I noticed you had some beautiful, like even phone cases. You can take the art with you. Tell us about that, and also the importance of being able to make sure have your things be available commercially as well, in terms of how important that is for a fine artist like yourself.
It's literally so important. It means so much to me when somebody even just buys something that I've created, because I create everything with love, and there's a lot of time that goes into it and all of this. So it's amazing to kind of put it out there and have people receive it. And the kind of stuff I sell, I do poster prints of my artwork, which poster prints can be framed, and I do canvas prints, I do tote bags, which are really good quality, by the way, and I do phone cases, and I'm kind of working on doing some more stuff. I also do greeting cards as well, which feature kind of Black characters on the cards. So yeah.
Wow, that's so exciting. And I'm also we're gonna post all of Kirsty's information as well. But we are so grateful that that you were able to spend some time. Oh, and before we conclude, what can you share with people who may be going through or may be challenged right now with mental health issues, or even may have friends or loved ones? Because I always say, we all go through things, and sometimes we suffer in silence, and we don't want to go out and get help. What can you share with the listeners?
What I'd share is just never give up. No matter how hard times get, no matter how low, things can be, just never give up. What I kind of like to remind people is that there has to be rain before a rainbow. And sometimes you have to go through these struggles to come out on the other side and thrive and be able to, be the successful person that you were destined to be. I'd say if you're dealing with any mental health issues, speak to somebody. That's probably the most important piece of advice I could give. Internalizing your issues doesn't help. I've been there, I've done that. Now I'm able to offer this advice. Speak to somebody and just release it from your system, and surround yourself with people that you love, things that you love doing, and positivity breeds happiness. So continue to be positive and try to be positive about life. And yeah, that's what I have to share.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. And, all God's blessings to you. We are so grateful that you could spend a little time with us here. And thank you. And guys, you can check her out. I'm going to leave the website and all her information down below. And until next time, we will see you on the flip side.